through my crooked Look in the white of my eyes when you're spilling your lies. It's fine, I'm high. I wanna talk about money. I wanna talk about money. I wanna talk about. It's fine, I'm high. I wanna talk about. I wanna talk about white in my eyes when you're spilling your lies. It's fine, I'm high. I wanna talk about money. I wanna talk about money. I wanna talk about. It's fine, I'm high. I wanna talk about. I wanna talk about. Trapped in my head, run from infinite thoughts. When I was young, I would run for the cops. Hearing it said, I just run for the loss. Down inside my corrupted mind. Search every corner where the demons hide. I don't even know what you're trying to find. What you're trying to find. This fucked up life of mine. Down and low like a landmine. I'm down to my damn mind. Every single day I'm sky high. Look in the white of my eyes when you're spilling your lies. It's fine, I'm high. I wanna talk about money. I wanna talk about money. I wanna talk about. It's fine, I'm high. I wanna talk about. I wanna talk about white in my eyes when you're spilling your lies. It's fine, I'm high. I wanna talk about money. I wanna talk about money. I wanna talk about. It's fine, I'm high. I wanna talk about. I wanna talk about white in my eyes when you're spilling your lies. I'm high. I wanna talk about money. I wanna talk about money. I wanna talk about.
I've been drifting, I keep falling off the deep end. I've been slipping, losing grip of myself. I feel different, I keep falling off the world's edge. I'll never sleep no more, I'll never sleep no more. I've been drifting, I keep falling off the deep end. I've been slipping, losing grip of myself. I feel distant, I keep falling off the world's edge. I'll never sleep no more, I'll never sleep no more. Find a silver lining, I just wanna feel right again. I just really wanna feel how I felt back then, when it felt real, so real. Yeah. Wide awake at 5 AM, I don't really wanna fight again. I just really wanna feel her skin on my skin, her breath on my neck. I've been drifting, I keep falling off the deep end. I've been slipping, losing grip of myself. I feel different, I keep falling off the world's edge. I'll never sleep no more, I'll never sleep no more. I've been drifting, I keep falling off the deep end. I've been slipping, losing grip of myself. I feel distant, I keep falling off the world's edge. I'll never sleep no more, I'll never sleep no more. I've been dealing with the pressure, all the pressure in my head every day. When I wake up feeling dead, I'll never say what I'm thinking in my head. I've been spending every day dwelling over my death, dealing with the pressure, all the pressure in my life. Kill impression in my mind, run down my spine. I don't always dare do what I know is right. There's some people in my life, we should probably sever ties. Dealing with the pressure, I don't need a fucking lecture, I just need to try and hold my congestion. Fuck your nice gesture, I know after everything I've been through, I'ma be a better
What's good, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Gotta adjust some stuff. Whoa. That's crazy. I hate this mic. I need to get a new mic. Unfortunately, I won't until I move, just because I don't want to have to carry a new mic around because I'm going to throw this one in the trash. What's up, everybody? Again, happy Wednesday. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend. I did not stream last week or this Monday. I was on a fishing trip. I'll show you guys some cool pictures after this. After we get through like the meat of the TA. But yeah, you guys know we had FOMC today. We had a rate hike of 0.25, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on it and just kind of that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about that and why it's really not that important right now. I think a lot of people are putting way too much stress and focus on interest rate hikes, and yes, they're never a good thing. Never in financial business or anything, because you have a lot of hedge funds, a lot of retail, a lot of private equity that they basically borrow money to make money. Or some people, when they're buying a house, you're borrowing money so that you can buy your house and afford your house. Anyways, I don't think it's that big of a deal right now. I think we're kind of close to the end of it. Honestly, rate hikes are still exceptionally low if you look at the last 20 years. I remember my dad was telling me a couple months ago that when they first got their first house, now granted, housing wasn't as expensive as it was, so I'll give you that. Housing is definitely in some type of bubble, and something's going to have to give. You either have rate hikes they're going to have to give, or the price of housing has to come down. Regardless, his first mortgage rate was like 18%, 20%, something like that. And they thought that was good, right? So we're crying about 7.5 right now. Yeah, guys, it's really not a big deal. Like, it'll probably come back down. At some point it has to. And on top of that, yes, homes are overvalued right now. Yes, you have a lot of people that can't afford homes and can't do this and can't do that. Yes, that bubble will eventually pop because, as you know, housing has a lot to do with simple supply and demand. If there's no demand and a lot of supply like there is right now, then prices will come down. Now, will there be some type of housing crash? I doubt it. I don't think we're going to get some type of crash. We might. There's a chance, but you also have to remember that there's all of these boomer type people. I know everyone says, all these boomers, they have all this money and they're dying, right? What do you think happens when all of that money goes to the generation below them, right? When all that, all those wills are passed down, all those houses are passed down and sold. Like my grandparents have a house that, they didn't pay a lot at that time, but now it's worth over $1 million. And obviously that's area and everything. My uncle in Cuba, his parents are boomers, and their house, wasn't expensive when they bought it, and now it's over $1.5 million. And I'm not talking about mansions right now. This is just a simple 2 or 3 bedroom home in Miami, Florida. But regardless, what do you think happens when they die and that money gets passed down, right, to these other generations? Now you have all these people with money and they have to put it somewhere. So it's something that I've been thinking about. It's something that you should think about, because I really don't think we're going to get some type of catastrophic housing market crash. I think housing will come down 10 to 20%, but that's not a crash, right? That's not a 50% reduction. Personally, I'd like it to be 20% by December or by at least next May. I'm looking at buying a house, so hopefully that comes down a little bit more. Generational wealth is important. A lot of people forget about it. What's up, Daniel? What's up, Dorian? What's up, you sir? How you guys doing? Gotta hit up the regulars. Thank you guys for being here. I did want to say I have an announcement. So I don't know if the links are going to work in the chat, but I'm working out with Bitkit. So Bitkit has just created an exchange, like basically a sister exchange that U.S. traders can trade futures. And I believe it's non-KYC. I have to double check on the KYC, but I know you can trade futures, and I know U.S. users can use it. So I'm working out getting a fee reduction on the link that I provide. So basically I'd have like the main BitGet one for BitGet, and then the other one, which is called CoinCatch. It's backed by BitGet. It's the same exact, like literally the app is exactly the same. The exchange is exactly the same. The liquidity is backed by BitGet. The security is backed by BitGet. It's literally BitGet, but regulated, or like regulatory means have been acquired so that they can trade in the U.S. So I love that announcement. I got that last Saturday or Sunday. So I'm looking at trying to, get as large of a fee reduction as I can. You guys know that they have their deposit bonus. I don't know if that even matters to you. But my goal is to get those fees reduced for you guys, because I know a lot of you had to leave BitGet. I know you really like the exchange, and now I'm trying to get that set up so you can continue with the same advantages that you had at BitGet. It's going to be the same fee structure as well, right? So more to come. That should happen later this week. I'm just waiting for confirmation from their corporate team, and then we'll get on. We'll move on from there. And just kind of backing on that, you guys probably don't know this, but for the last 3 months, I've been looking for an exchange, just so I can have U.S. traders use, and even myself, if something weird happens, I like to have my money spread out on different exchanges. It's a good idea, right? You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So I've been looking for an exchange that I can partner with that's good, that I enjoy. I like the UI, I like everything about it, and honestly, I really haven't found one. As you guys know, a lot of the U.S. exchanges, or exchanges you could use in the U.S., you can't, right? It's a dime a dozen now. You can use Kraken, Coinbase, and Binance US, which Binance US is falling. It's literally a sinking ship, right? So there's very few options. So this is one of those options. I'm trying to push that as quick as I can and as the best I can. So I'll let you guys know in Discord and Twitter and live stream whenever that's done. So stay on hold. I have no idea if it's a CX exchange. Yeah, I mean, the whole point is it's literally the same as BitGet, but you guys know that BitGet doesn't have the regulatory, all of the regulatory matters that. So back myself up further. This is a whole clusterfuck, right? So the SEC came out and basically said, you can't do XYZ, right? So BitGet doesn't want to be fined by the SEC because eventually they'd like to get into the US, right? So with that said, all of these exchanges have to either create a Binance US or a US regulated exchange that people can trade on. And I believe that would mean that you have less options to trade altcoins, because you guys know a lot of these altcoins are traded or marked as securities, I believe, or not secure. I don't know what they were fucking marked as, but they were marked by the SEC. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't really followed a lot over the last couple months. I've been on trips and enjoying the summer. So regardless, the SEC is cracking down on crypto exchanges. BitGet's one of them. Bybit, I believe BingX, if I'm mistaken. I know Mexi's under fire right now. What else? Abra. Let's think. I know there's a bunch of them. I can't list 100 exchanges. I don't want to waste your time. But the whole point is I've been trying to find an exchange that U.S. traders can use that I can get you guys a good deal, because I know a lot of you, had to leave using BitGet or leave using Bybit or whatever the hell you're using. So that's entirely just to bring that fee structure down, even though it's already really low, and get you guys back to where you were. Yeah, securities. Yeah, that's what I figured. When's my next class? So my next live class. Okay, so live classes will begin in September. So basically, I do a 4-month course live twice a week. They're about 30 minutes to an hour long. However, if you're one of those people that's I don't have time for 4 months, I want to just learn it in a month, or I'm a fast learner, I can learn it in a month, or I can watch all the videos in a month, and this is just I'm just going to turn my back and close my eyes on this one. You can literally pay for a month and screen record all the videos, and then you have them. Because Guys, my class, the structure of the class is always the same, right? It's the same material, over a 4-month period. And then I take a 4-month break. And then there's same material over a 4-month period, right? So it's not like there's anything new. I will at some point probably add to it, or add because the other thing is it's $150 a month. Like, some people don't have the money to pay for 8 months of class. I'm trying to condense it into 4 months. I think 4 months is reasonable. If people are like, hey, what's the next step, or where can I go from here? I can try and create like an intermediate to advanced course and maybe teach that once or twice a week. But this is more of like a beginner to intermediate, really build you a structure, kind of get your, it's kind of like the shallow end of a pool, right? You can swim, and you're learning to swim, and you're in the water, you can dip your head in, but you're not fully in the deep end yet. Yeah. And I do want you guys to know, the deep end of the pool, it's a lot of personal experience, right? It's a lot of testing your system. It's a lot of, it's a lot of experience. It's a lot of time. It's not just, hey, can I learn over a year or 8 months? It's a lot of personal experience. Same thing with with anything you do, right? It's experience goes way longer than just reading a book. And if you're interested in seeing any testimonies or anything, you can always ask anyone in Discord that used to be my student. They're marked, right? So you can say, hey, or you can read the testimonials if you can't find anyone. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. I have yet to get a negative, anything negative on the class or anyone that's taken it. Because I think buyback was an exchange, like what you're talking about, except it's a DEX exchange. Oh, decentralized exchange. Gotcha. Funny being from Canada, because they say it's restricted, but I haven't had any problems using Bitkit. Yeah, that's weird, right? I think, and the whole reason for that is if they do, just press the button that's you can't withdraw anymore if you're in Canada or the US, right? Then you're screwed. And that's what I'm trying to bring the fully you're good, right? You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to wonder if you're going to wake up and you lost everything. So the whole point of, again, me doing this is finding an exchange, getting you guys a good deal. That way you don't have to worry about it. Doing my research, and I'm not just signing up with some or, partnering with some exchange that, I'm not partnering with Joe Schmo's exchange. I'm trying to find an exchange that's good security, that I know I've used. I can back it up. I can talk to their team. If anything is happening, I can let you guys know. As you guys know, especially if you're in Discord or you read my tweets, anytime anything is happening with Bitkit, I let you guys know. So that's kind of the whole goal there. But let's get into some TA before I take any more questions. So FOMC today, 0.25 hike. Honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's being blown out of proportion. So what's happening? The S&P 500 still in a parabolic uptrend. We're approaching resistance. We've tapped resistance. I'd like to see a break. We break 4,600, retest, and continue moving onward. You guys know the drill. That's kind of what I've been saying. Don't really see anything bearish here. People are asking about bearish divergences. There are none. There is nothing that looks ugly about this. It looks extremely bullish. There's no exhaustion. Unfortunately, we can't use volume. So just looking at price and structure and divergences, everything looks solid, right? Nothing looks bearish at all. Within confluence of the DXY, right? We have our excuse me, I have the hiccups. I have to hold my breath for 20 seconds, but anyways, we had our bear flag, right? We had a lot of confluence. Let's back this up. We had a lot of confluence with both support and resistance. We actually flipped this into support, pushed up, came back down, tested a support, up, support, breakdown, retest, right? This is a very bearish scenario. This is very textbook 101. I tweeted this earlier today. A lot of people consider this deviation. Never. This was deviation. This was deviation. This is never deviation. A 2 or 3% move on the DXY is like a 30% move on Bitcoin. So ultimately you have a breakdown. Yes, we pushed a little higher than I figured, but we're still in that supply zone, right? We're still in that area of support, which is now being turned into resistance. So ultimately very bearish. I really like the way this weekly candle looks, especially on a Wednesday. I don't think this is going to change. I think we'll just kind of continue consolidating and move down. As you guys know, the daily was very, very oversold, I believe. Let's take a look. So yeah, we were oversold. We bounced up, retested, and we'll continue lower, right? Now we're back to normal. You still have that kind of RSI resistance if it's what you want to look at. But either way, it's a very bearish breakdown, retest, continuation scenario. So really finding confluence of the SPX. SPX is bullish. DXY is bearish. They go hand in hand, right? So ultimately, our market's very, very bullish. Tether dominance, nothing really here. Let's look at the weekly. Still kind of looking at that head and shoulders. Again, we're kind of just in no man's land here. I don't really see anything. I don't really see anything particular. Couldn't even make an account. I'm on a VPN. Only way I could get BitKit probably. Yeah. Is it really? Is BitKit working fine for you in the States? That's crazy. Why can't you use volume? Because this is a... I mean, I guess you could on lower time frames, but it's really hard to use on the weekly, right? Like your volume is virtually the same all throughout. And it's because it's an index. It's an index, right? So it's really hard to get a lot of value, a lot of valuable data out of volume. And on top of that, look at this. So obviously you have your market opens and closes. I mean, volume is virtually the same, right? So it's really hard to get a read of volume and say, okay, this is confirming, this is not confirming, this is a breakout, this is a breakdown. And plus, I don't really trade the S&P 500, so I haven't really tested volume. But look at this, right? This is all volume. It's literally the same thing, right? So hard to say that volume is a very, very active indication on this chart, at least. Any thoughts about Litecoin and the halving coming in 8 days? I mean, Litecoin could do something, could not do something. I think a lot of people expect Litecoin to just go to $1,000 tomorrow, or in 8 days, not tomorrow. Doubtful, but I would say that, man, this yawning's killing me. I mean, I would say that it's very possible that this thing does this, similar to here. Maybe it consolidates here and goes up. I don't know. It's hard to give thoughts on altcoins when you have to remember Bitcoin's ultimately controlling the market. So if Bitcoin dumps, then altcoins will dump. If Bitcoin pumps, altcoins pump. If Bitcoin breaks all-time highs and continues higher, then altcoins will start their kind of alt season. So I would base it more off that than anything. What's up, Michael? Yeah, we'll get to Bitcoin here, actually right now, because Bitcoin's next. So, Bitcoin weekly, still in an uptrend, still just chilling. I really don't see anything of concern on the weekly. Yes, we do have potential divergences there between these, but again, you really did make a new high. Yes, I still would consider these divergences. But we're not seeing that harsh reaction. I'd like to see this continue to consolidate and go higher, kind of negate those divergences and head upwards. I still think that's very, very possible, especially with the S&P and the DXY. On the daily, so this is interesting. Today it looks like we're kind of reclaiming that 29,500 lost support, or we lost support 2 days ago. Again, I had said that it was on low volume, so it's very likely to do this. It's very likely to hit 28K and do this, right? So it's not really a confirmed breakdown. It's not it is a breakdown, right? It is slightly confirmed with volume, but it's not a truly bearish move. There were a lot of people that criticized what I said, and they were like, oh, why aren't you shorting? This is stupid. Like, look where we are now. We're literally higher than, like, I would have shorted the breakdown and I would have gotten invalidated today. So ultimately not very bearish, especially with volume, right? Volume's going down, price is going down, right? Our volume here, price is going down with volume. MACD looks really good to set up for another run. Again, RSI kind of doing more or less what RSI should do when it's in that overbought period, which is come back down to the mean and then head further up, right? If we head up, right? So you're looking at indicators more or less correcting than anything. That's why 28,000 has a solid block and 29.5 has that kind of smaller line, because it really wasn't that important of a support line zone for me. That's crazy. I can't believe it's working in the States. I gotta let people know that. Are you guys not worried about like withdrawals or anything? Like aren't you worried that you might not be able to withdraw at all because you can't KYC or you can't like not KYC with Bickett anymore? Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of people were shorting rate hikes, right? There was no reason to short. Okay, so ultimately 4 hour kind of looking to reclaim that area of once support turned into resistance, now reclaiming it, and hopefully we get like a nice move and maybe like this. Maybe you're looking at inverted head and shoulders here. Again, not a lot really going on. Right, let's take a look at dominance. Look at this. This is interesting. This is actually something we can talk about. So dominance. Ultimately on the weekly. And we're going to get rid of our RSI and MACD real quick. This. So dominance. We had a breakout. Now we're kind of consolidating to head higher, right? So that's ultimately, whether even if we come down to this level, ultimately we're thinking higher. So one thing to notice, this whole period, right? We take this and we imagine Bitcoin as well from, what is this, early 2023, so January up until now. Bitcoin has been in an uptrend. Dominance has been in an uptrend. This is very, very bullish. So when we see an inverted head and shoulders on dominance, we should imagine that Bitcoin's next move, one, you're going to see Bitcoin move more than alts, right? So it's either going to pump harder than alts or drop less than alts. So this is why you want your money in Bitcoin. But we know that since this whole period, we've been in an uptrend. Every time we move up, the price of Bitcoin has most likely moved up, right? So, and just for reference so that you guys have a good notice. So from early January to now, we're in an uptrend. On, again, Bitcoin dominance, we're still in that uptrend. So seeing this on hour 4, this looks like a inverted head and shoulders. A really well-defined one. So you have a very well-defined neckline here, right shoulder, head, left shoulder. If this breaks, retest continues upwards, I'd imagine Bitcoin pumps with it, right? So unfortunately, I don't see anything reversal-wise other than, the early stages of this. But if you get here, come down, obviously this would, if this is on Bitcoin dominance, that's where alts would move up some. But again, you're looking at a nice possible reversal scenario upwards. His speech was soft, so it didn't really favor the breakdown. Oh, Powell's speech, yeah. Yeah, I think Powell's just trying to be like, oh, this might happen or this could not happen. Like, he's trying not to pick a side. Because you guys have to remember, they're not trying to crash the economy. The guy doesn't want to lose his job. Like, I think a lot of people take it out of context, right? If the economy crashes, if the stock market crashes, if housing crashes, people lose their jobs, people suffer. It's way harder to bounce back from. It takes longer to bounce back from. Now the government, the banks, and all these entities now have to regain the trust of retail investors, right? Because that's how they make their money. Like the trading space slows down quite a lot because now less people are trading. Because if you lose your job, you're not going to be trading. You're going to be using that money to buy food and resources. So the man's not trying to crash the economy. He's just trying to maybe slow it down, let us recoup, and then we can continue that expansion back upwards. But yeah, it definitely didn't favor the breakdown, and TA even kind of answered that as well. Like we have no volume here. Volume is still, like, if we take just flat volume through all of this, we're kind of flat, right? We're very equal. This is not a a truly bearish move. Yes, it is a technical breakdown, but we also haven't hit, this major area of what was resistance here now turned into support. So that's interesting if we get there. If we don't, there's not always a confirmed chance that we will, but there was really nothing confirming a breakdown. It just kind of looked a little awkward to me, at least. And look at Link. I mean, Link's already still in its uptrend. And for those of you that don't know, I brought up Link a couple months ago and said this is going to be huge. First things first, we had bullish divergence on RSI and MACD, right? I mean, just massive bullish divergence. We're in a huge accumulation zone. All we got to do is break $9 and this thing full sends. I mean, full sends in a way that's, you're probably up, sideways, and then up from there, right? So I bought a lot down here, believe it or not. I have the orders to prove it. I bought a lot. My average overall is probably lower because I think I have like 15,000 links. So I bought, I think 8,000 or 9,000. We'll say $8,000 here, right? My other 7,000 we'll say is in the middle because I bought some low, some high. I was buying this whole range, some in the middle. So we'll say my entry is somewhere slightly above support. So my link's doing pretty well. My $8,000 buy, I believe from the lower fives. I mean, that's up 50%. So that's killing it. The rest is pretty even, right? So, but this is a longer term hold. I'm holding this until, I'm holding this until we do something like that, right? So all of those buys will be well worth it, and so on and so forth. No, alts don't necessarily bleed. They just don't gain value on Bitcoin. So that's what people don't understand is when Bitcoin dominance goes up, Bitcoin and alts can go up. Bitcoin's just going up more. It's gaining more market share. It's having more dollars put into it. It's showing dominance over the market, right? Now, if Bitcoin goes down, let's say dominance is going up and Bitcoin and alts are going down. Now, Bitcoin's going to go down less than alts, which happens about 99% of the time anyways. And then your altcoins are going to drop a lot more because Bitcoin's retaining that kind of cash flow and retaining that dominance. So hopefully that describes it a little bit better for you. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for today. I really don't have a lot to talk about. Just kind of a quick 30-minute update. I will try and live stream Friday. It just kind of depends what the weather's like. I did want to show you guys this. So for those of you who know, I was fishing in South Florida. Went fishing in South Florida. I used to live in Miami with my aunt and uncle when I used to work for the hedge fund. And, we go on a couple trips a year just to visit family. And I also looked at some houses too in Palmetto Bay, Cutler Bay, so Miami. And uncle has a boat. We got on the boat, whatever. The first day we're there. We're fishing. We're not, we're doing okay. It's hot as hell. It's, the water's pretty choppy, which, it doesn't matter too much, but the current was 2 miles an hour, which is pretty fast. We caught, a couple things here and there, not a big day. So we're on our last bait. My uncle's like, all right, everyone pick it up. Like, we got to go meet, the wives, the girlfriends, everyone for dinner. So we're like, all right, I'm reeling in one of the topwater lines. So you have, so think about this. So any of you that don't know what deep sea fishing like, this is what it's like. So you have essentially your boat here, you got your guys, and excuse me, I'm a horrible artist, and here's the ocean. So basically you have lines that go, and let's say this is the ocean floor, right? You got rocks and fish, so this is your line, right? So you have a deep line and it's attached to a weight, and then you're on a hook. Let's say the current is going this way, right? So, and then your little bait fish is right here. So, and again, excuse my horrific drawing. There's your little bait fish. So then these bigger fish will come in, see that, and go attack that bait fish, right? So we had 2 deep dropping lines, and then we have a third line out, or a third and sometimes fourth, that kind of sits on the surface, right? Because you have your sailfish. Sometimes you'll have amberjacks and barjacks and mahi, sometimes tuna, and they'll come and hit the bait that's on the surface. So then you'll have a big fish come up, hit this thing and go deep or fight on the surface. So I'm reeling in the top water line, and the bait's probably dead, and all of a sudden I get like this bite, and we had seen smaller mahi, like not keepers, and my uncle's like, oh, it's probably this little mahi, don't worry about it, whatever, just fucking reel it in. So I'm reeling it in, and I'm like, whoa, this is a way bigger fish, and this fucking sailfish jumps out of the water, right? So it's between 80 and 100 pounds. I don't have a scale, but I know what 100 pounds feels like. So this thing eats my bait, does the sailfish dance above the water. It's going crazy, and I'm on 20-pound test. This is a 100-pound fish with a fucking sword on its face. So, we're fighting and fighting and fighting. It took an hour and a half to bring this thing in. My uncle sticks his hands in the water, pulls it up out of the water, and we get a picture and throw it back. It was pretty fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. I've done a lot of fishing in my life, and this last trip we went on was awesome. We actually caught 2 sailfish. We caught an amberjack, 3 big barjacks. We caught 5 big mutton snappers, and what else did we catch? We caught some grouper, but they were too small. But it was awesome. I had a great time. Just wanted to kind of share where I've been over the last week. Seems there's low volume on fish. There actually is, dude. Florida's being totally out, overfished. And I know there's regulation in play, and I think the fishing's starting to come back. But now they kind of have a shark problem where all these sharks don't have enough fish to eat because fishermen are also catching them. So I think sharks actually have to die off some so that fishing can come back and fish can come back. So yeah, we ate all of them, but we didn't eat any of the sailfish. The sailfish have a lot of mercury and they don't taste that good. Now, if it was a marlin, we would have eaten it, right? I would have totally eaten a marlin. Fish steaks are awesome. But we ate the mutton, we ate the jacks, ate everything else we caught. But the sailfish, no. The sailfish is just an awesome picture. You don't eat sailfish. They're loaded with mercury. They taste like shit. They're not a desirable fish in the ocean. They're more of just a sporting, I caught it and threw it back. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today. I will hopefully be here Friday. If not, I'll see you Monday.